If your Mini Cooper Countryman has a really rough ride or just a bad ride in general, your struts and shocks may be compromised. But that's not a problem because it is super easy to fix, and I wish I did this a lot earlier on my 2014 Mini Cooper Countryman S. My ride was pretty awful, it was really, really rough, so I decided to change my struts and my shocks and put on some nice Bilstein B4 struts, and it totally changed the ride of the car, and today I'm going to show y'all how I did it. Yes, that's right. We're installing new struts on the Mini. You can see right now it's lifted up because quite a lot of stuff has happened. Pretty much what we planned on doing originally is we have the stock suspension out right here from the front. And what we had was actually some coilovers. We had some coilovers that we got from Amazon. I was gonna make a video about installing Amazon coilovers on the car, but we compared them to the stock ones and they were like 2 inches shorter. The wheel fitment gap was gonna be like this and we did not want that. That was gonna be ridiculous. So we returned those and instead what we've gotten are these Bilstein struts. These are completely OE quality replacements. These are better than OEM, obviously. They're Bilstein and they are just lovely. All right, so real quickly, these are the Bilstein B4. You can see I already put them on. I'm from the future, but just ignore this. These are OE Plus. These are awesome. I've heard great reviews about these. Pretty much it's just a strut and you get to reuse the spring. Everything else is brand new. Of course, you're gonna need, for the kit, you're gonna need the bushing, you're gonna need this little black rubber piece. Everything FCP brings and, provides for you. But these are the Bilstein B4. These are gonna be better than the OEM. They're gonna be softer, more compliant, and they're gonna last longer. They're gonna feel better. They're gonna have a better ride. These are just better overall. Right now, my filming is a little bit all over the place because we already started and I have some clips of us removing this, which I'll obviously show y'all. But of the unboxing of the Bilsteins, I don't really have, any at all. But these are the rears. These are the rear Bilsteins. These are the Bilstein B4s. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take the stock suspension, we're going to compress the springs, take the springs out, and of course put these onto the new Bilsteins. And of course, we also have the kit from FCP Euro for the entire suspension, including the bushings and everything, including literally everything that you need to change the suspension. We bought that kit from FCP Euro. They're not sponsoring this channel or anything, but I'll put a link to that in the description. But basically, I'm saying all of this so that y'all know, in case the video starts, moving around, new me, old me, past, present, you understand that we planned on installing some coilovers from Amazon, but that fell through. So now, halfway through the install, we've decided to change everything. So I apologize for the confusion if there is any, but we are gonna go ahead and start installing these Bilstein B4 struts. Of course, first we gotta remove that. So let's go ahead and remove the front suspension. All right, car's jacked up. Let's take the wheel off. So it looks like we don't have to take off the wheel liner, actually. Everything is right here. It's literally right there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and remove these little cables. Just gonna pop them out of place. But of course, before we can go on any further, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so y'all stay notified when the next few videos about this car, the 535i or the M4 drop. There's a lot more content coming. So like I said, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get this little nut off right here, holding this arm on. Then after that, we can go ahead and get the bottom one off. And then once we get this nut off, the only thing left really would be to get this nut off. Holding this entire thing, looks like the knuckle, off of the actual, strut. Once we get the strut off from the bottom, we can get it off from the top. All right, so with this little linking arm, I'm gonna go ahead and get a Torx 27 right here. I'm gonna keep this in place while I undo this 16mm nut right around it. Obviously, without the Torx, you wouldn't be able to spin it. It would just all spin together. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold this while I undo the nut. There we go. That's off. I can take this guy off. There we go. All right, so now we got this bolt off. This is the bolt that clamps this entire, looks like the knuckle area, onto the bottom of the strut, right? So I got this off with the help of this nut right here. They're both 18mm, so I just got an 18, impact and an 18 wrench to hold this on, and I just unscrewed this, came right out. So technically right now, there's nothing holding this onto this other than just kind of like age and wear. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a little hammer or a mallet and just start tapping this down. Hopefully this should just come right off of this. Obviously, once this is off of this, we can go up to the top of the strut tower, remove the 3 bolts, and get this thing entirely off. All right, we finally got this off, but yeah, it did take a bit of effort and some elbow grease with a smaller sledgehammer, but yes, a sledgehammer nonetheless. We started hammering it, boom, 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 right here where you can see it's been degraded just a little bit, but it's still fine. You don't need a crazy sledgehammer, just enough to tuk tuk tuk. It went down little by little by little, of course WD-40, and we eventually got it off. It wasn't that bad. It could have been a lot worse. But we finally got it off. This is entirely off. So the only thing literally holding this on to the car is up here on the top of the strut tower. So I'm gonna go ahead, open up the hood, unbolt those 3 bolts, and this, I mean, it should fall out. It should. I really hope it does. That should be it. So let's go ahead and get this off. All right, these 3 little nuts right here are 13 millimeters. I'm gonna go ahead and take these off. Looks like, oh, this one's already, okay. Oh, this one too. All right, that should be the last one. All right, so now we have the stock suspension out. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this inside the house, and I'm going to compress the spring, take everything apart, and then transfer everything over to the new Bilstein front strut. All right, so here's what we're doing. We're gonna go ahead and disassemble this strut. Pretty much all that you need is some sockets and a spring compressor tool. We actually rented this for free from AutoZone. So we're gonna go ahead and get the spring compressor tool. We're gonna compress the spring very nice and tightly. And then from there, we're gonna remove the dust cap at the top of the entire assembly. From there, we're gonna go ahead and get our impact and just take off that nut. I don't remember what size it is, but just go ahead and impact that right off, and it should go right off. Super easy. From there, you can take the spring off, and you can take off all of the auxiliaries as well. You can take off the little rubber seals, all the little rubber bits. You can take all of that off. Once that's done, literally just grab the new strut assembly and just slide the spring on over it, of course, with the new hardware, the new rubber seals and everything. I'm not really sure what that little squishy plastic thing in the middle is called, but put that on first. And there's also another auxiliary piece that you have to put inside of that little black rubbery thing. Put that inside and then put the spring on. Once you do that, get your new bushing, get the new top mount, put that on, and then, you know, using the new nut, tighten all that down with the impact. And then from there, you can start loosening the spring compressor, making sure that everything is lined up and in the right spot it needs to be, and everything is done. Make sure to, of course, to check the top nut, make sure to tighten it pretty well. There is a torque spec, but there's no real way of torquing something because it spins around. You can't really torque it per se. Just make sure it's nice and tight. Once it's nice and tight, that's it. There's really nothing else. I am not, you know, a master mechanic. I'm not going to say that I know exactly what I'm doing and how to do it and how to tell y'all how to do it. We got our information from FCP Euro. Put a link in the description to their video of how they do it. They explain it much better. Michael Hidalgo, very cool guy. He explains it very well. Go check him out. They're not sponsoring this channel or anything, but I really enjoyed their video. They definitely helped us out. If you need some more information, you need way more detailed step-by-step process, go check out that video. They're going to help a little bit more than I can. But once you've done that, it can go on the car. We're ready to put it on, so let's go take it back to the car and put it on. All right, back at the car, let's put it back in. I must say one thing, these are way lighter. I mean, picking them up immediately, they are significantly lighter. I can throw them around, they feel better, more substantial. I'm very happy to put these on. I am excited, so let's do it. All right, so we got the front on. It's finally on. You can't really see it, but there is the brand new Bilstein B4 front strut. You can see over here a little bit better because the car is lifted up and the wheels are missing, of course, in time for the rear struts. But we can go ahead and take a look at the front struts. Not much to see. There's really not much to see. They're on. It wasn't even that, you know, bad putting it on, except finding out where to jack it from. But we did figure it out, and it wasn't that bad. But we're not done quite just yet. Make sure to stick around until the end to see the final result of this Mini Cooper with its brand new Bilstein B4 shocks. So now they're on, the fronts are on. So now it's time to go over to the rears and start taking the rears off, which is way easier. There's actually just a 21 millimeter nut right there, or a bolt, I should say, 21 millimeter bolt right there, and two 13 millimeters up here. You can't really see them from here, but from around here, you should be able to see two 13 millimeter bolts. Just take those off and the entire thing comes off. That's literally it. So let's go ahead and see how easy this is to get off. And then of course, we're gonna have to compress the spring, do the whole thing again as with the fronts, but it shouldn't be that bad. So let's go ahead and take the rears off. All right, we got the rear off. It's really not all that bad. And there is no kit for the rear, I have to say. There's no kit for the rear, as far as I've seen, because it looks, actually, now that I'm seeing it, it doesn't look like there's any real rubber bushings or anything that need to be replaced. It looks just like the top hat comes off, and then the same thing, compress the spring and move it over to the strut and reuse everything from there. But it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and swap everything over then. right, check it out. It's on. We got both sides on, and all that's left to do now is to torque down the big bolt right there, holding everything on to the rear, you know, knuckle area, let's say. Right there. It's gonna be 103 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my torque wrench, set it to 103, and then torque up both sides. There isn't actually a torque spec for the top two on each side. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a nice, you know, hefty little pull. Make sure that they're on nice and tight. But I'm gonna go ahead and torque this guy right here down to 103 foot-pounds. And then after that, that should be it, really. And we can put the wheels back on and then lower the car. So let's go ahead and torque these down. All right. We are finally done. Everything is installed. Everything is torqued. Okay, I was gonna try to show y'all, but y'all can't see from there. We are done with the install. The entire thing is complete, front and rear. Honestly, it took way longer than it should have, only because we didn't have the kit at first for the fronts, because we were gonna buy, you know, we were gonna install the Amazon coilovers, which ended up not happening. So again, I apologize if there's any confusion on that when I was speaking in the video, but everything is on, everything is installed. It looks good. We're gonna go ahead and drive it, but as for the video, this is about it. Not much else to say. I mean, we installed it. I had some fun doing it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully this helped y'all if y'all were looking for a tutorial or anything, any help online, because there's not very many videos of this car, specifically suspension, on YouTube. I don't know why. So I'm trying to be, you know, y'all's help, because I'm trying to be the change I wanted to see. I didn't find any videos about this car at all. So hopefully I can be the help that, you know, some of y'all may need. But like I said, as for this video, that's about it. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified when the next few videos about this car, the M4, and the F10 535i drop. But like I said, as for this video, that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Take care.